This is the Element Helix Gen 2 4-16 by 44 scope. This has got some great optimization for mid magnification range, which we're going to see in this video. Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. We recently published a story covering the Helix Gen 2 6-24 by 50. Now we've got the 4-16 by 44. These scopes have had some great improvements, and I say we get this out of the box and we'll see what's included. Okay, so here's what we've got. I'm going to look through this for the first time. Very nice. That looks great. That's awesome. So we've got the optic itself. There's going to be some standard things here that we get with Element. We've got a capped windage, but we've also got the thread protector if we want to run it uncapped. We've got the throw lever, which we're going to remove a plug and screw in here. I'm definitely going to use that. We've got parallax on the side here. We've got toolless turret adjustments. So if we take these knurled caps off, we can reset our zero just that easy. So love the way that Element puts this package together. We've got a sunshade. We've got two different options for caps, the flip-up style caps or the rubber bungee caps. And then we've also got the owner's manual. I took this out and left it out because I wanted to show you we've got a nice QR code here, which is links to additional resources. So really great standard equipment package. What I'm going to do now is take a look at my rifle inventory and figure out what we're going to put this on. Okay, so the rifle I picked is the Bergara B14R. That's right, rimfire. We're going to have some 22 LR fun. And I already had the scope mounted on the optics test rig. We'll get to those sort of scientific lab results a little bit later in the video. So things are leveled. I just checked my eye relief. I think we're going to be good kind of right in this region here. So really all I need to do now is get our cross bolts torqued down and pushing forward here. And then I'll torque the ring caps. Okay, so that should be good for our scope install. I think next, take this rifle out and do some shooting. So shooting our DM target steel at 35, 65, at 100 was awesome, and I was actually able to hold pretty nice groups on the steel off of that tripod. Really nice setup with that 2VETS tripod. I installed this ARCA rail on the B14R. That definitely helps when it comes, we're using ARCA for all of our bipods, all of our tripods, where possible, and love that system. So next we drove our side-by-side up to the ridge line, and as we were driving up, we were thinking, oh man, we got some serious wind coming. When we get up to the top, it's even worse, which was really fun getting this rifle on target off of the tree barricade at 200 yards. Let's check that out. So here at 200 yards, we should be at about 7.2. I'm gonna go ahead and dial up. And then we're definitely gonna have to hold left, and this might be a sort of a process. Let's double check our dope here. 0.9 for 5 miles per hour. So with the wind switching like this, I'm going to try 1. Nope. We're going to go dead center. Okay, a little bit. Thought hit somewhere to the right there. Where are we with the elevation? Okay, that was 1.5. More like 2. Maybe even 3 now. Wind let off. Oh, load more ammo. I'm gonna try 1.5 again. Nice. We're gonna hold a little bit more than 1.5 now. We're peppering him. Yeah, when that wind lets off, we're down to 1. So we were between about 1 and about 2 plus a little bit there, just looking at the wind and feeling it here. So that is really fun. And I think we're at 12 power here. Really good magnification actually for this distance. 200 yards off of a barricade, kind of challenging with the 22, but definitely lots of fun, especially with the increased wind. So it was really fun to try out the Helix Gen 2 4-16 by 44 in these varying conditions. I would say this is a really good rimfire scope. I think it'd be an excellent centerfire hunting scope on a variety of compact or lightweight rifles. The magnification range is great, and to have a first focal plane reticle with optimization for that mid power is awesome. So let's talk through some of the specs here. So some of this information here is directly from Element. I've condensed some of the information as well. Obviously, this is a 4-16 power scope, 44 millimeter objective. First focal plane, again, it's really nice to be able to hold over with the reticle at any magnification and know that you've got accuracy in that holdover. 30 millimeter tube, it's got weather resistance, side parallax knob, advanced multi-coated lenses. It's exactly what we expect from Element, a really top-notch setup. So this scope is available in MOA or MRAD. We have the MRAD version, so we have 1/10 mil clicks. You'd have quarter MOA clicks on the MOA side of things. Elevation, 90 MOA or 26.1 MRAD. Windage, 45 MOA or 13 MRAD. 15 yards close focusing is really awesome. It's 13.8 inches long and the weight is 28.5 ounces. So let's talk about that reticle I mentioned. This is a mid-power, mid-magnification range optimized reticle. It's called the 4-16 MPR. MPR stands for mid-power reticle or medium power reticle, 1C. And so to the left here, you can see the entire reticle at lower magnification, and then I've kind of blown that up so that you can see some of the details here. So if we dissect this a little bit, we've got tapered bars on the sides and on the bottom. We've got a floating center dot, which I absolutely love. I want a floating center dot on all my scopes, whether it be a precision bench rest scope or a hunting scope, because you know you're going to be able to see around that center dot, and that just helps with aiming precision and reduces a little bit of overlap clutter, I find. We've got 1/2 mil hash lines on this version. So overall, I found with the shooting that I did at various ranges, this is a really good setup. And then if we want to compare that to the other Helix Gen 2, we did the 6-24 by 50. You can see that reticle here on the right. A lot more information. We've got a Christmas tree, all sorts of holdover facilities, and we've got, I think this is 2/10 increments on the hash marks, the smallest hash marks. Whereas on the 4-16 side, you can see just how much cleaner it is and how much it's been simplified for that magnification range, because once you go down to 4 power, you're not going to be able to use all of the information that's available here and all of the reference points on the 6-24. So to take it down to a 1/2 mil hash marks and to reduce some of the visual clutter, I think works really, really well for that mid-power range. Okay, so an Ultimate Reloader scope overview story is not going to be complete without some scientific testing. So we put it on the Optics test rig. This is a rig, it's a platform where we can hold the scope and then we can actually move the camera with about a 1/2,000th resolution of inches, that is. And so it's very precise in our ability to make the alignment of the camera and the scope as if we're looking through the scope, and then we can do things like test tracking. So we did 3 mil up, 3 mil down, 3 mil left, 3 mil right, and what we found was everything lined up exactly perfectly. We had a little bit overshoot on the left 3 mil, which is on the right-hand side of the target. And I'm not sure if that wasn't that we didn't have things perfectly centered in terms of the parallax or something like that. But nonetheless, this result, if you look at the endpoints here, is really, really impressive. That's great tracking. Okay, and then we did our parallax test where we've got the camera centered up, looking straight through the scope, and then we moved the camera left 50 thousandths of an inch and right 50 thousandths of an inch and back to center. And what we're doing is we're kind of zooming in here and we're looking really closely at the alignment of that center dot and the target. And here we saw ever so slight movement up, interestingly, as we went either left or right. It's not going to make a difference on target, especially for something like hunting. But it was interesting that it consistently did that on both sides, and then it was centered up in the middle. A very good parallax result nonetheless. Okay, so for our image distortion test, we just take a frame from our test, draw a square inset inside the reference lines on the target, and look to see that we have parallel gaps all the way around, which in this case we did. I'll also make note here that we have perfect reticle alignment in terms of its angle with the target. So the reticle has been leveled with the scope perfectly, and distortion is obviously not a problem here either. So I think at the end of the day, this scope, the Element Helix Gen 2 4-16x44, represents a tremendous value. Given the performance that we saw, given the package of accessories, the sunshade, the throw lever, the thread protector, the cap for the windage, and then some of the functionality that you get in Element scopes, like the toolless turret zeroing. I just am becoming a bigger and bigger fan of how these scopes work and the value that Element provides with their optics. The MPR reticle does an outstanding job of maintaining that usability, regardless of if you're at 4 power on the wide side or punched in all the way to 16 power. I just think in this power range, this is going to be a hard scope to beat. What I'd like to know is, what do you think about the Helix Gen 2 4-16x44? Is this a scope you'd put on a rimfire? Or how about an air gun? Or how about a centerfire gun? Tell me what you would do with it, what type of a rig it'd be going on, and what you would be shooting with it. What type of shooting, whether it be taking care of mice and rats, or if you're doing regular centerfire hunting with medium to big game, like deer hunting or something like that. Or if you're going to do target work or NRL 22 type match. I'd love to know how you guys are putting equipment like this to use. So if you drop a comment, we'll see you there in the comments section. Don't forget, we got a bunch of other stories on the other Element optics, and we've got more coming as well. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.